I'm officially done with people telling me to have a haircut when I look totally like a normal social human being. Anyways, this morning I woke up, right? Took a bath and got ready. Went to my mom and asked if I look like a social reject. She said, eh. I am pretty sure I don't look hideous to my mom. Come on, let's all agree that our mom doesn't want us to look like we're about to murder another human being. So my mom was my last confirmation of my appearance, my physical appearance, yeah? So I went out to enroll, right? And I already verified myself 5 times so that society would accept me as a regular human being. So I drove leisurely and happily to the registration office knowingly that I could finally enroll. So I arrived, parked my bike, was hot as balls, sweating myself to my chest. My armpit is stained like a glass of water poured on it, but it's totally fine as long as my hair is not affected. Yeah, I'm really totally fine. It's all about the hair now. So I go and recheck my hair on the mirror. I look perfectly fine and looking like a normal social human being. I look like everyone else. So I go up to the people and ask them to sign the paper. They said, okay, your paper is fine, nothing wrong. I finally rejoiced that finally I am accepted into the community. But then the guy said the dreaded word. The word saying, your hair, sir, you need to have it cut. Then inside me, I felt pain. I felt lost. I felt like a social reject. I nodded and took the unsigned paper heartbrokenly. So I went home. Immediately checked myself in the mirror. And then I saw this. I saw a piece of my hair touching my ear. Literally a piece of my hair touching the topmost of my hair. How did he even see that? I was furious. So I went to my mom and told her I'm going out for a haircut. She replied with, I knew it. I showed her the piece of hair that was touching my ear. She then said, well, you do look like a social reject. She then hands over the money with her grim smile saying to have my haircut. I then go to my journey to have my haircut instead of spending my money on food. The most important physiological aspect for us humans. Food. Food where we eat lunch, dinner, and breakfast. Food instead. Food! I was about to do the most illogical thing in the world. To use my food money on a haircut. To literally cut off the piece of my hair that was touching the topmost of my ears. So I go to the barber's, right? And got that part of my hair cut off. Whimpering as he cuts off my memorable piece of hair. I then asked the barber if I can keep the hair. He looked at me with disgust and repulse. But I knew I had to keep this hair. So anyways, I had to pick it up and put it in my wallet. So I got home, right? And finally took my papers with me and went to the registration office with rage for my newly cut hair. I finally arrived and approached the vile staff and asked him to sign the paper. He looked at me with his emotionless eyes and with a poker face glance. He then took the paper and signed it. I left the office with satisfaction. I felt victory. But I knew I didn't win the war. I thought I had to do something. I knew I had to make a video. I had to avenge my hair. I knew that it wasn't over, and that's why I made this video. To avenge my hair! Kill me now! Hello guys, and this is unusual because I usually talk about gaming, but I always wanted to point out something that I had in mind for a while. So I decided to make this video, and I went with it anyways, I don't care. So before I continue my point, I just want to say that everything I may exaggerate is just made for comedic purposes, alright? Also, I don't want you to run into my house with a chainsaw, right? So stop that, okay? You know yourself, huh? So everything I am about to say is just an opinion, and I don't mean to attack anything or anyone. So if you can handle a corny joke or two, you better leave because you're about to get it! You're about to get it. Yeah, sorry, medyo cringy. I'm kinda cringy. Before we continue the topics, I just want to outline my topics, alright? The topics I'm gonna revolve around are hair restrictions, good hair and bad hair disturbances in classes, and then my conclusion, yeah? So I suggest you guys to get some food, grab a glass of water, I don't know, just get yourself comfortable because this is gonna be a long video. And let's get right. Killer Comstar.
Well, when you get a haircut, you better go back home.
So there are hair restrictions everywhere, right? Literally everywhere. Work, factories, the military, or whatever. The only thing that doesn't require hair restriction is the ISIS, right? But I do not have any problems with haircut when it comes to a certain profession. But let's not get into that. For me, the only absurd guideline and the most irrelevant are the school hair guidelines. I literally don't understand why I have to check my hair when you look totally fine, right? How come girls get to look gorgeous while women literally have to look like porcupines, yeah? I mean, come on, let's be real. Not everyone looks good with one haircut, and I'm pretty sure everyone would love to have a good and unique haircut. I am a guy, alright, and I absolutely love short-haired girl, yeah? This, that, those, yes, they all look freaking stunning. I love him. I am not gay, alright, and I don't want to sound gay, but I just want to let this out. This guy, look at him. Man, how I wish I was that fabulous. But no, school restriction stops me from looking great. But why does the school have hair restrictions? Before we get into that, let me elaborate that more with other examples. So the army here has hair restrictions, right? And I completely agree with it. Because it says here that the militarist haircut is necessary because all of them have to be in uniformity. The haircut is needed so that everyone can be addressed as one group. And that their soldiers will literally not stab each other in the war. Come on, if you look like a person with long hair like this going to war, I am sure you will get shot at the first 5 seconds. Man, you do not look like the Corps. You do not look like the Navy. You look like a lonely kid, man. You're going to die. Do you want to die because of bad haircut? Also, according to this, your haircut will be judged according to the headgear that you will be using. If you look like this guy, man, you will die at the first 5 seconds. How the hell can you see with that haircut, man? I'm pretty sure it won't even fit your head because your hair covers more than your mother's front lawn. We also have nurses, yeah? Nurses are very strict when it comes to hair guidelines, right? But I, again, totally agree with that. Who wants to be treated by a nurse when the nurse, him herself, looks like the patient? Come on, my friend. Look at this, man. You look like mental. Look at this guy. Would you want to be in your deathbed with this person changing your IV? I would literally jump off the window instead of dying from a person who looks like a madman. Also, trust is important with nurses, right? So at first glance, the nurses have to look fine, clean, and well-groomed. Now, this person walks up to you and literally just asks for your name. Would you give your name now? No, right? You would immediately flee with fear. But the school guideline is different, right? I don't really understand the purpose of hair guidelines for the school because they usually don't have certain explanation for that cut. So I instead will be basing off the school's purpose of haircut. So now from everything that I learned, I will be assuming the purpose of the school's haircut from those, okay? You cool? Alright, let's go. So the first reason would be, you need a haircut so that you won't look like a homicide. 2. You need the haircut so that your classmates won't be threatened from your looks. 3. You need the haircut so that it won't obstruct your studying or anyone else, right? Just that, right? 3 basic rules. Basic as balls, yeah? So why in the hell can't this, and this literally not be allowed in school? You look gorgeous, man. You look freaking wonderful. But let's look at the other side first, okay? As a student, I get intimidated by people. Not by their group, or their body, or their face. I literally get frightened by the hair of people. Man, I wouldn't want a person going to school like this. Because every time I pass through them, I have to keep my guard up just in case I get magged or shanked. I don't want to get stabbed in the back. You might say, wow, that's just prejudice, man. You sound like an asshole. Not to be mean, bro, but what the balls kind of haircut is that? I mean, look at that. You look like from the gang of the Bloods and the Crips. You look like a homicide, dude. You look like a person filled with revenge. Now that's the kind of hair I'd restrict.
Bitty boy sitting in a booster chair, 'cause you might look like Larry Moore.
I am not a fashion man, yeah? I am not up with the trend of design and stuff like that. I totally suck at looking good. But based off my experience and common sense, I will make my own standards of good hair and bad hair. So like I previously said, right, I have 3 rules. 3 basic rules. So I'm going to be basic as balls. And I'm going to use examples instead of defining them. Because I think I already said all of that in my previous topic. This is good, bad, this looks gorgeous, this looks like a homicide, this looks good, this looks like a person going through depression. You get my point now?
There's a macho barbershop. Hair dryers mounted on a rifle rack.
So we all know that the hair is restricted because it also may cause some disturbances or distractions in school, right? Maybe. From my experiences, the only thing that distracted me from school with relation to hair is literally girls with short hair. Man, they look pretty as balls. No wonder I got low at com arts just by staring at this girl. I literally couldn't concentrate. But let's not get into that. I don't give a damn about others people's hair, right? Except when they look like a homicide, then I have to get my guard up. I might pull out my shank, right? Come on, who wants to die, right? We have to always get our guard up. I don't want to die yet. So let's talk about how long hair for men can affect classes, okay? Now this guy looks like a person who has problem with math because he cannot do calculations with all that hair covering his eyes. How can he answer 5 plus 2? He can't answer that now, can he? But this guy can get an ace in math class and be loved by everyone at the same time, yeah? The only way this guy can be a disturbance is when he looks too damn gorgeous. Because everyone will be gazing at him the entire day. Probably even the teacher. Okay, now let's move on to how short hair can disturb you in classes. So short hair is already not restricted, but there are certain haircuts that is not allowed. Well, I totally agree, right? This guy looks like, okay, you know, this guy looks right. This guy, not too shabby. But this guy, yeah, he looks like he came out the mushroom farm because his head looks like a freaking mushroom, dude. The only way that affects us students is literally by laughter. No offense. Now, we also have this kind of haircut who looks like he quit the biker gang to pursue his academic career. I am not the judging type of person, alright? But let's be real, come on. This guy looks like he's about to kill me. And it's disturbing, man. But seriously, this is intimidating not just to me, but pretty sure the entire class. Everyone will literally be on their guard every time they have a group activity. I'm telling you, man, I don't want to be with him in the group project. I feel like he has an agenda against me. Mom, I don't want to die yet. But all jokes aside, I hope you guys get my point, yeah? And let me repeat, any exaggeration is just made for comedic purposes and is not meant to attack anyone, alright? School haircut guidelines are absolutely absurd because I don't really find any reason why. But Razzie, it has rules and it definitely has a reason. Well, maybe the school have some rules or tradition, culture, or whatever it might be. But aside from that, I don't really find the reason why how good hair can obstruct your academic access. Come on, man, I don't see how this beautiful hair can stop me from having good grades, okay? But seriously guys, all these are just my opinion and like I said, is made for comedy. So don't be a butthurt social reject and instead leave a like. Yes, leave the like, I love it, click it now! This is actually my first time making a video like this because I usually make videos about gaming. But if you guys want more, why not? I really don't care. Just leave a comment down below and who knows, I might make more. Alright guys, I'll be going now and I'll be right back and don't be a butthurt.